Hey y'all, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Choosing Your Zero. Now today it's going to be a little different because today we're looking at my actually preferred setup, which is an LPVO. This particular LPVO is a Vortex Strike Eagle 1 to 8 power, meaning it can go from 1 power, basically the same strength as Naked Eye, all the way up to 8 power with just a flick of a throw lever like so. Now, a lot of people like to run a piggybacked or an offset red dot along with these because at very close distances, like say room clearing, the 1 power isn't quite 1x and you still have the problem of scope shadow, and it takes you an extra split second to actually acquire your target, which is where red dot really shines. So I'm thinking about putting that combo on here, but we'll get into that later. Now, when zeroing a magnified optic, as opposed to a red dot, most of the time it's a good idea to zero your optic for 100 yards. Why is that? That's because with magnified optics, especially the ones with a BDC or bullet drop compensator reticle, that's the ones that have the little Christmas tree that comes off to the side, or the ladder that comes down from the main reticle, be that the ACOG Chevron, the Donut of Death EOTech reticle, anything like that. The reason they have that is so that you can actually adjust your aim at extreme distances for bullet drop, windage, atmospheric conditions, target movement, anything of that sort. And in order to make those calculations properly, you need a set zero, which is standard across all magnified optics. And this is going to apply to low power variable optics, hunting scopes, your 3 to 9s, 3 to 12s, things like that, all the way up to your extreme power like 5 to 25, 6 to 26, these extreme magnification long-range precision optics. That is because in order, again, to have that set amount of compensation that you're required at certain distances, you have to have that common zero, which is usually 100 yards. Now, I have seen guys zero something like this for, let's say, 50 yards. Now, that's going to 100% depend on what you are going to use this rifle for. Is this going to be a recce rifle where you're going to take shots at 500 or 600 yards? Is this going to be a plinking gun for the range? You're just going to play around at 100, maybe 200? Is this going to be a hunting gun where you're going to take shots at whatever range you're allowed to take on your property or your hunting area? That is going to depend on you, but general rule of thumb is for a scope, any kind of magnified optic, also a prism optic, because the same principle applies. For those fixed power prism optics, like say an ACOG, an LCAN, a primary arms, same thing, because they all have that bullet drop compensator, and in order to properly use that compensator, you have to have a set zero that's common throughout all of your ammo, all of your optics, all of that. So, long story short, guys, rule of thumb for scopes and magnified optics, 100 yard zero every time. But yet again, you do you.